Miro, aki bol tvoj sen, keď si bol dieta. That means, Miro, when you were a boy in Slovakian, did you have a dream?
But was this in Slovakian?
I guess so.
No.
Google Translate.
No, I have not understood any word of it.
Aki bol tvoj sen,
Oh, that sounds better.
keď si bol dieta.
Aký bol tvoj sen, keď si bol dieťa? You know, I'm kind of type that really has to think sometimes to give a honest answer. And I don't think I had a real clear dream in the future. I think I was a kid and I wanted to play and I wanted to have joy and enjoy life. I mean, probably that was what I wanted to do. I remember I was playing football. I was all the time with other kids and doing stupid things probably at the time because my parents were not always happy. So I think that was the dream, and I think the dream is still on. Yes.
So, but looking at you now, you are a top expert at one of the best universities in the world on technology. Solar energy is, you're the perfect expert on this thing. Working with the smartest people in the world. Would you ever have foreseen this?
No.
This career?
No, I must honestly say no. And the reason is when I look back in my life that coincidences played a big role in my life. And I never thought I would end up in Delft or in the Netherlands and working at such a famous university.
Can you try maybe one defining moment during this whole career where you say, okay, if I look back, this was really in the full game, this was the moment that it happened?
I think I can mention two, so I give you something extra. And one was, I think that my parents made a wonderful decision when I was a kid. And the decision was that they sent me to an English school. So already when I was very young, I could learn English. And this was very important. I think this is what also changed my life. And then the second was that during a PhD work, I was doing it in Slovakia at the Technical University in Bratislava, and already working not directly with solar energy, but with new materials that could be used in solar cells that convert solar energy into electricity. And my colleagues in Prague invited one of these big experts from Scotland to come to Prague and give a lecture. And so they called me, Miro, it's Professor Walter Speer coming to Prague, come to his lecture. So of course I did. And why I'm mentioning English, then his lecture was over and it was expected that the public will give questions. And I think not many people could speak English or did not dare to speak English, so I was the only one who was asking English questions. So Professor Speer, the expert in the world on this material, was very happy. And then also after his lecture, we had a chat. And then he invited me to come to Scotland, to his university, Dundee University, what I did. And in this way, I met him. But now the coincidence, he was asked to be a member of a PhD committee in Delft. And when you have this topic, you are always looking for young people who could be involved in projects. So probably during the committee meeting, my at that time colleagues in Delft were mentioning we have this project or that project. We need someone who knows something about this material. And Professor Speer said, okay, I know a guy, he's in Bratislava, but maybe he can help you. And I got the invitation, and that was a half year that I should spend in Delft, but from a half year, it's now more than 30 years.
What is so fascinating about the sun?
Well, I think sun, that's a kind of deity, and without sun, there is no life on Earth. Also, we live more or less from the energy that sun gives us because we eat plants, and sun gives the life, is I would say, a donor of life. I am happy that I am at the Delft University of Technology because also of the logo of the university. Above the letter T, there is this strange form, and this strange form actually represents the flame of Prometheus, a Greek god in Greek mythology. And I don't know whether you remember why Prometheus is so famous, but it is because of a deed that he stole
the
the fire from Olympus and brought it to people on the earth. And you know, then people got for the first time a technology to convert energy to a useful energy. At that time, of course, when you are burning something, you get heat. So for me, this symbol in the logo is actually the start of energy transition. So it's already how many? 6,000, 10,000 years ago. So we have this energy transition as an infinity game, I would say. But today, we are in a kind of disruptive period of energy transition. And why? Because all these thousands of years, we were using fossil fuels to get useful energy. And now we know, don't use fossil fuels anymore. It's not good for us. So we have to switch to different, what we call primary energy sources. And the biggest that is available is sun.
You are living in a world of people who are going to become an engineer, for example. How do these other skills, which sometimes they're called soft skills or 21st century skills, how do they blend into this, let's say, engineering background?
Yeah, you mentioned engineering, and certainly we need bright engineers for the future, and I'm happy that our university, Delft University of Technology, can do it very well, can really deliver experienced young engineers and maybe also the future leaders. But it's not only engineering. You really probably be or work on the other skills. From certain moment in my life, I was also busy and interested in art. Maybe for the information, I started the first private art gallery in Slovakia already more than 30 years ago. So just before I went for this half a year to the Netherlands, and the gallery still exists.
Why did you do that? Can you elaborate?
Exactly. I am not an artist myself, but I was feeling that I can get some kind of inspiration from also being involved in an area which is said it's completely different than science and research. Because at that time I was already working at the Technical University in Bratislava, so really on science. And yeah, I was thinking, let's meet these artists because they are thought to be very creative people, and I wanted to, let's say, get crazy ideas, because also in science you need crazy ideas to make a step.
Why?
To let's say, find out new technologies like a solar cell. It is something that will change our world, and people did not think about it, that some of the processes that were already known, you can put together in a device that can make this wonderful thing of converting solar energy directly into electricity.
You need courage to do less.
Absolutely. You need courage. You need courage to do anything. For example, in my role, as I have it now at the university, that I am responsible for a big department, I really feel I need to demonstrate courage that I can lead this department. And so this is very important. So when you want to achieve something, even that you do not think I have this quality, do everything that you learn it, and that you are not afraid to show the courage for anything.
But it means that sometimes maybe you fail.
Okay, but that's part of the game. Okay. Odkiaľže to dievky boli, čo tak pekne tancovali, z očovej, z tej dediny zhorenej. Z očovej, z tej dediny zhorenej. a ja som sa na ne díval, jak im vietor sukne zdvíhal z hodvábu, z pamoku, čo som kúpil na detvianskom jarmoku. Z hodvábu, z pamoku, čo som kúpil na detvianskom jarmoku. My name is Miro Zeman. I work at Delft University of Technology. My specialization is solar energy.